Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf. I am back here in the Mead Hall of Stoke, where I'm about to report back to Reeve Freethield here. And it looks like Thane Wordlock has also arrived, and maybe we'll find out whether it's just his captain who's a petty traitor, or if he also is one. We're not completely sure about him yet, though based on the testimony of his wife, I am thinking that's more likely than not. Hello there, ma'am.
Will you help my people?
Welcome back, Pineleaf. You say that Toradog is dead, slain by treason, and that Toringus has come late to our defense? That is ill news indeed. But at least we have the consolation that Ordlanc has brought nearly a full garrison in good time. Yes, it is good fortune, unless, of course, he likes to leave things to his treacherous captain.
There is work to be done here.
The loss of Tordag grieves me, for he was a good friend and a stout warrior. However, I must look to the defense of my riding. There will be time to sorrow later. War riders roam to and fro among the fields to the west, burning everything they see. Will you ride out and extinguish as many of the fires as you can? I would have something left of the acres to pass down to my son. Be alert for an ambush. The goblins are vicious creatures who would just as soon put you to the torch. Yes, I am quite familiar with goblins, so I need to put out fires. Well, I suppose that I can do that. Pine leaf needles. Fire Marshal. It appears that we have some fires here. I'm just lacking some water to actually put out some fires. Alright. Defiler. Oh, wonderful. I have a feeling this fox might be better served to go elsewhere. Just saying. Whew. Well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Bring the Dunleading token. You found a Dunleading token upon the work rider to followers. You found a Dunleading token upon the work rider to followers. You should bring it to Freethield. Okay, fine. I wasn't expecting that. Now, let's see if I can find water somewhere. I will have to tell you that it's rather ridiculous to require that using the bucket skill to put out fires requires you to be on a war state. Really? Really? You need to be, I could say requiring you to be on a draft horse pulling a fire truck. I could understand how that could be a reasonable requirement, but really? Well, okay. She did say ride out. I do have to admit that. I guess that was a little bit of a clue on that. But really, I still think that firefighting on a war steed is rather strange. Now, as I said, a draft horse with a fire wagon on the back of it, meaning a wagon full of water to help you to put out fires, that sounds plausible to me. But this is. Maybe I have a set of buckets of water or something like that with me that allows me to carry extra water and all that stuff. So the amount of water I'm carrying here is half orc rider, who apparently has decided to take exception to my existence. So I'll have to deal with him. There you go. And we might as well take care of this goblin while we're at it. Though, at least I've finished up that quest. And now for you. And we'll see. I guess I can have some practice actually doing mounted combat, which is, of course, the entire purpose of being in Rohan here, right? Mounted combat? At least that's the impression I get sometimes. There you go. And this looks like it'll be the final fire, at least. Alright. I put out the fires, well, at least as well as I could. And I've managed to learn something along the way. So let's get back to Freefield. I put out the fires and found this badge.
There is work to be done here.
That the Dunlendings assaulted the Stonedings and even Torsbury does not surprise me. However, it concerns me that a goblin will bear one of their badges. It means that these evil creatures are more closely in league than I first believed. Well, I'm not surprised to know that they are, after what I saw in Isengard. Right? Hello, sir, what do you say about all this?
What business have you with the Rohirim?
Clearly, we should shore our defenses and prepare for the coming siege. However, it is not my decision to make. I would advise Reed Freefield to call a council of war. It may be that Thane Wordlock will have some insights that will help. Wordlock, yeah, I could trust him about as far as I could throw him.
The Rohirim will need your aid.
If you truly wish to help Stoke, then post these conscription notices and gather our supplies. We need swords, shields, armor, spears aplenty. We have had craftsmen throughout Stoke producing them for us with instructions to leave the finished products in their yards. I need you to gather them and bring them to the armory stockpile outside the meat hall. Once you're done with that, post the notices and meet my lieutenant, Huthrich, outside. Huthrich outside. Okay, fine. So, I suppose that I can do that. Let's see, I also need to speak with Baldman, Wordlock, and of course, the... Oh, yes. I thought Wordlock was a familiar name. What do you say about all this?
Welcome and well met, my friend.
Well, yes, I have heard how you fared at Torsbury and grieved Tordick's loss. However, we must not lose heart and must put aside sorrow. There are glorious battles to be fought. He's either delusioned or he's a traitor. He could be either one of them. Okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for the moment. I must consider our current situation carefully. There is much that needs to be done ere we make a final decision. Return to me in a while, and I will speak my mind more openly. Good day, friend. Good day. What else do you need me to do?
The Rohirim are grateful for your aid.
I'm sure you are. Yes, if you need something else to do while I consider my advice for Freefield, I do have a task for you. It would prove valuable if you could learn where the enemy's encampment lies. Perhaps one of the half-orcs roaming in the fields to the west might be able to provide a map or something else indicating from whence they came. Search for any maps or orders that you can find, and if by chance you find their encampment, look for the tents of their leaders. Any knowledge that you provide me will help me lay the groundwork for our plans to come, and perhaps you might even be killed along the way. How about that for a win-win? Okay, I added that last bit last. I mean, It wasn't really there. I just added it. Look at this. After all this time, I'm still collecting and delivering mail. And this is apparently the shield worker with the blazon of the Broadacres. There you go. Collect everything that we've got. We still need some spears and some swords. Some actual weapons, yeah. Ah, the swords. Alright, let's see. Rohiric swords seem to have a horse motif on them. Alright, I guess that makes sense. Let's see, where is the... Ah, there you go. Alright, that is that. So that just leaves... Oh, why is that open? I have no idea. And finally, we need spears. I should be able to find a spear. I certainly know what a spear looks like. Though, based on my size, it looks more like a pike. But I suppose that to one of the men of Rohan, it's just an ordinary spear. There you go. And there you go. And I could deliver these to the stockpile. I also have somebody here who I think wishes to speak to me. Just beyond the... Oh, inside the inn. Baldman is having a little something to eat here.
Will you aid the horse lords?
I was chosen by both my people, the refugees of Torsbury, and the townfolk of Stoke, to speak for them. I believe we must first provision this town for siege before aught else. But perhaps that's a decision best left to the Reeve and her advisors in council. Alright, that's something to take into advice because, let's face it, the people do need to eat if they are to survive the siege and be prepared for it.
The Rohirim have need of your services.
While you're here, though, I could use your help. My people and the townfolk of Stoke have both asked me to speak for them to make sure that their needs are not being overlooked. I do not doubt that Reeve feels concerns, but there seems to be plenty of battle preparations and little provisioning. I would take some hunters out myself, but there are too many wolves roaming the fields. Would you call the wolves' number and hunt down some provisions for us? Oh, we need meat, hides, and ivory. The meat and ivory can be gathered from the deer to the north and south, and from the aurochs to this. Oh, and south, and from the aurochs to the south, and the hides from the wolves, deer, and aurochs. So we need some deer meat, hides, ivory, and aurochs meat, and defeat wolves in the Broadacres. I suppose we can do that. So that just leaves one more person to speak with. Finally, there is my frenemy here, Dudeseek.
Will you aid the horse lords?
It's not my place to say what the Reeve should do. If it were I would strike at the heart of the foe, but it is not. If the Reeve wishes to be advised, let her call a council then. All right. And what do you want? Well, I am sure that we will find
Our
out.
success depends upon our strength.
If you
Will you aid us?
If you wish to be of any true use to the people of Stoke, you should deal with the dangers that lie to the east. Warg riders and wolves ravage the countryside, and no one stops them. They will be quick to become a threat to Osri as well if nothing is done. You are no stranger to the ways of mounted combat, and so should have no difficulty dealing with this threat. That is, if your courage has not already failed you. What do you say? Will you attend to this challenge? I'm guessing that he's more interested in me dying while facing the wolves than in actually surviving and dealing with the wolves, but that is just my opinion, right? Of course. Here is the stockpile, though there isn't much here piled yet. Ah, much, 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 much better. Well, now that I've unloaded all of that, it's time to collect all that stuff from outside the town. I must say that they really like decorating their signposts over here. There you go. One notice. Oh, how cute. You placed them on the shields. Too bad there's a bush there that could make it difficult to read. Maybe I should have put it on the other side. Oh well, let's go and do some hunting. Ha! I found a buck. That should be perfect for my needs. At least to take care of some of this stuff that I need. I need some meat. I need to hold on to my spear. Yes, I could use some meat, some horn, some hides, all sorts of things. I need to take care of my dislocated shoulder. Yes. But the bucks are tough here. I could say that for sure. There you go. Some deer meat. A deer hide. And a bit of antler. Ah, found one of the half-orcs. Maybe he'll have the map that I'm looking for. Oh, really? I didn't need that goblin intervening. Oh, boy. Ah! That's a nuisance to have extras come in that don't... Hey! Hey! You're not even pretending to want to fight, aren't you? Yeah. There you go. Good, I've got a map. Let's take care of this skirmisher at the same time because it's a nuisance. A big nuisance. Or I guess they're not big. I guess they're a little nuisance then. They're just all over the place. They're like flies. I also need some aurochs meat, and here we have a bull. This thing's a lot bigger than I am, so I have to deal with it carefully. It's sort of like a human going against a mammoth. I would think that setting up traps might be a more effective way to fight this thing. Considering the, well, traps or numbers or something like that, or doing it from a distance. I know in game this is probably the most effective way to take care of this, but I suspect that if a hobbit were really trying to fight up against one of these bulls, there'll need to be a lot more preparation than you can have inside the game. Maybe I should try one of the cows instead. Though I suspect I could get aurochs meat from here without too much trouble. That might be... I guess maybe some hides also might be gained this way. Somehow I don't think it's going to be a very, very good source of ivory. But I got a pretty good haul from the ivory already from the bucks, so it's not going to be much of a problem. Oh, hello. Thank you. Nothing? Nothing? Cheap. It appears that the Uruks have been making use of this burnt-out farmstead as their encampment. Is that really the case? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.